They'll huff, they'll puff, they'll blow your kill team down. That was the worst intro I've ever done.
We got Space Wolves.
Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown with our continuing kill team coverage, this time with Dead Silence. The first of the Dead Silence kill teams, the Space Wolves. I mean, they're actually called the Chex Notes Wolf Scouts kill team.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, because Wolf Scouts used to be a model series, and it was just basically Space Marine Scouts, but with Space Wolves upgrades. And then they removed those from the Space Wolves Codex completely.
Yeah, didn't they get replaced by Morkai?
The Hounds of Morkai were kind of their replacement, but Hounds of Morkai are really more like the Reavers specific.
Yeah.
So really, they just didn't have Wolf Scouts, but now I guess we're getting Wolf Scouts back.
Yeah, Wolf Scouts are just kind of different from every other Space Marine chapter Scouts in general.
Yeah, so I mean, if you don't know the lore, basically most Space Marine chapters use Scouts as the initiation process. Like you if you survive the process of becoming a Space Marine, before you're allowed to get the armor and the full bodysuit, you become a scout, and that's where you learn to do all the Space Marine stuff.
Yeah.
Space Marine or Space Wolves kind of do the opposite, where their Space Marine Scouts is not actually where people join the Space Wolves. It's actually where their veterans who are really good at scouting go.
Yeah.
So for Space Marines, their Scouts are actually kind of the elite, as shown in this kill team, which is a kill team of five guys and one wolf.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, one Fenrisian wolf, which is not a real wolf, because it is totally not the same.
Yeah, because there's no wolves on Fenrir.
No wolves on Fenris.
Fenris.
Fenrir is the god that's actually they stole the name from.
Yeah, Viking stuff, you know.
So yeah, Viking.
Yeah, Norse.
Norse. Runes.
Yeah.
So the Wolf Scout kill team, you get 6 things. The fact that the Wolf Scout Fenrisian wolf is listed first makes it look like your kill team leader.
Yeah, that's the joke I was going to make, is that the wolf is the leader because he's the only one you have to take.
I mean, he is the smartest one on this team.
Probably. And probably the most tame.
And probably the most sober.
Yeah.
The wolf is the only one. Actually, you know what? No, I refuse to believe that the wolves don't also drink mead or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I bet they do. So you have to take the wolf. You do not have a choice. You must take the wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Hungry like the wolf. And then you can select from the following list. Pack Leader, Fang Bearer, Frost Eye, Gunner, Trapmaster, Scald, Rune Priest, and Hunter. The Hunter is your generic one. Here's the thing. You don't actually have to take the Pack Leader either.
Nope. So it's just kind of like we're seeing with Death Watch, where you don't have to take the leader because they're all veterans. They're all kind of leader worthy, I guess.
Well, it's because the wolf is the leader. He's the one who's actually
Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to want to take him, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, a lot like the Death Watch.
Yeah.
Their archetypes are either Recon or Seek and Destroy, which for my money are 2 of the stronger ones.
Yeah.
Security kind of was too, but Recon got a buff. Seek and Destroy's kind of always been good. Let's go into the faction rules before we get into the actual data cards and the actual models that you're taking. You have 2 of them: Hunting Astartes and Elemental Storm.
Hunting Astartes is basically just the Space Marine Astartes rule that every Astartes team gets, with the addition that they had to add the psychic part on there because this team actually has a psyker on it. And then also your friendly Wolf Scouts can counteract regardless of their order. Whenever they do so in the storm, they can change their order before counteracting.
Right. So being able to counteract with any order is par for the course.
Yeah.
Being able to change it if you're within the storm, which we'll talk about, is new.
Mm-hmm.
So they can all shoot twice or fight twice. Wolf Scouts operative does include the Fenrisian wolf, by the way.
Yeah.
So the wolf can also fight twice.
Yeah, there's a lot of exclusions in there that specifically exclude the wolf.
But the wolf does get to fight twice.
Yeah, it's basic. Yeah, your basic Space Marine: shoot twice, fight twice. If you use the plasma gun or the special weapon, it takes 2 action points instead of 1 for the second shot.
It is just the plasma gun or plasma pistol.
Yeah, but they all have plasma pistols.
That's true. Yeah. And then Elemental Storm, your actual other unique role.
Yeah, this is the one that the whole team is basically based around.
So as a strategic gambit, remove your storm marker from the kill zone, if any, then place it in the kill zone. So as a strategic gambit, place it in the kill zone. Remove it if you had one already.
Yeah.
Whenever an operative is within 6 inches horizontally of the storm marker, it's within your storm. So basically a 12-inch bubble, which is pretty darn big.
Oh, yeah.
When you're within the storm, first off, your entire this is like the geomantic locus from Necrons, except way better.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't involve doing actual geometry, because space wolves aren't smart enough to do geometry.
It's a lot easier to set stuff up with it because it's just a giant 12-inch circle versus moving 3 points here, 3 points there.
So the basic is that every friendly Wolf Scout operative can perform the charge action while it has a conceal order if it starts or ends that action within the storm. That second part is huge.
That is pretty huge, actually, yes.
And is bonkers good. Like, that alone is incredibly good.
Yeah, remember, this is like Commando's entire faction rule was this, and that was just their faction rule. This is that and then some, as we'll get on to.
Which we'll get to in the strategy ploys or firefight ploys. But first, let's talk about the people who actually make up your team. Or the post people, the transhumans who make up your team, because they're no longer people. It's the core of 40K, so they're no longer people. They had to sacrifice to humanity to save humanity. Don't you understand that? Anyway, sorry, I get mad about people not getting the point of 40K, Space Marines.
Yeah. Again, everybody but your Wolf is a Space Marine. Phobos Space Marine specifically, so they all have the same Phobos Space Marine profile that they typically have, which is 3 APL, 7-inch move, 3 up save, and 13 wounds, but your leader has 14. So they're all going to have that. But then your Wolf Scout pack leader, he's going to have the 14 wounds, like I said, and then he is armed with a plasma pistol and a power weapon. Power weapon, specifically, not power sword.
Nope.
But
because it's a really big knife.
Yeah, it's just a big knife. It's just a standard plasma pistol. I guess plasma pistols in this case, the reason why they're special is because like basically everybody on the team has one, except for your Psyker. But yeah, he's just got a basic plasma pistol, range 8, piercing 1. You can run it hot for a lethal 5 up, 3 and 5 damage, 4 and 5 damage on the crit, 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. And then his power weapon is 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, 4 and 6 damage, lethal 5 up.
Yep.
That one's going to be important for one of their equipments later on. But anyway, his 2 abilities are the Lupine Guile, which once per battle, when rolling off to decide initiative, if this operative is in the kill zone, you can re-roll the dice. Re-roll initiative.
Sometimes winning initiative is really nice.
Yeah, pretty basic. Really good. And then his other one, he's got Grizzled Veteran, which basically when he dies, he doesn't die. He comes back with 1 wound.
He's got Tough from Trench Crusade is what he's got.
He's got Tough. Yeah, Tough from Trench Crusade. I think Votan character had this in Big 40K.
And all remaining attack dice are discarded, including yours if you're retaliating. So no shenanigans.
Basically, combat ends.
Yeah. So if he's being shot at, I'm not. You're dead. No, I'm not.
Yeah. But he's only got 1 wound, so he should be able to pick off easier later on. But, there's other shenanigans to kind of build him back up if you set your cards right, basically.
All right, next one is the Fang Bearer. He's like the one guy in your team who doesn't have a plasma pistol because he has the Absolver Bolt Pistol.
Yeah.
Which is just the plasma pistol on overcharge and has an extra inch of range. It's range 9 instead of range 8.
Which is kind of important.
It is actually very important. And has piercing crits 1. So whereas plasma pistols always have piercing.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, this one does 4 or 5 damage without overcharge.
Yes.
So yes, it does lose the always piercing, but it does crit on a pierce, pierce on a crit, and then gets an extra inch of range. It also gets 4 attacks, hits on 3s. And he's got a Combat Blade. Combat Blade is standard across all these Marines, which is 5 attacks, hits on 3s, 4 to 5 damage.
Yeah.
No specials. So he's got Spiritual, I can never pronounce this word. Chirurgy or Kirurgy, I can never pronounce that word.
Me neither.
You can ignore any changes to the stats of friendly Wolf Scout operatives except the Wolf from being injured, including the weapon stats. Friendly Wolf Scout operatives, excluding Fenrisian Wolf, are not affected by enemy operatives' shock and stun weapon rules, and you can ignore any changes to their APL stat. Note that friendly operatives have these rules if you select this operative for the battle, even if it's incapacitated later.
So this one is huge.
There's no bubble. There's no range. If you take this guy, his presence on your team means that you completely ignore stat changes for being injured.
Yeah, we've seen stuff like this in the game before, but this is probably one of the bigger reasons why these guys are kind of broken is for this rule. Like, I think Brood Brothers have something similar, but once the guy dies, it's gone.
Right.
Tau, I think the Tau team also has something like this, but once he's dead, it's gone.
The Tau team has something like this. You have to be within 3 inches of each other.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like there's actual there's no qualifications. He also has healing bombs. Select one friendly operative within this operative's control range to regain up to D3 plus 3 lost wounds. Can't do it within control range. It only costs 1 AP.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're healing and then just never...
It's kind of like your medic, but without the, when they die, they don't die kind of thing.
Right.
But absolute auto pick just for that first rule. Like,
Yeah.
even if he doesn't do anything else in the game, he makes himself worth it.
Because it stops your guys from being worn down, which is one of the only things that is actually good versus Space Marines, is wearing them down and giving them, negatives to hit.
Anyway, next one is the Wolf Scout Trap Master. Again, plasma pistol and a combat blade. He also has a haywire mine. It works basically identically to the Phobos Marine haywire mine. If you get too close to it, it does 2d3 plus 3 damage to you. But his is a little bit better because if he's in the storm, it does 1d3 plus 6. So basically it just turns one of your 2d3 into an automatic 3 kind of thing. So potentially 9 damage either way. Way more often in the storm than not. But other than that, he still has a plasma pistol.
Yeah.
So he's still kind of dangerous once you get up close. And the combat blades aren't that bad, so you don't want to get close to him regardless.
And note that unlike the guard mine, he can't hurt himself with it.
Yeah, that too.
Your basic Wolf Scout Hunter is just your basic. He's got all the normal stats. He's got a plasma pistol and a combat blade. Whenever the operative is within the storm, his weapon has Severe. So what Severe does is it lets you, if you don't have any crits, you can set one success to a crit.
Yep.
It doesn't let you set a miss to a crit, but it lets you set a success to a crit.
Right.
Which is pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah. And then again, just your basic warrior having a plasma pistol.
Yeah, short range, but
still. I mean, you're going to want to get close anyway. I don't know how often you'll take them, though, just because everybody else here just has their own special abilities and stuff like that make them kind of better. But,
yeah,
again, for a basic warrior, not bad at all. And then we've got the Wolf Scout Gunner. He's like every other Space Marine gunner out there, except he only has a plasma gun. It's not like switching out with a Melta like some of the other Astartes teams, but his plasma gun, it's a normal plasma gun. You can supercharge it. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 4 and 6 damage, piercing 1, and then, hot for lethal 5 up, and then an extra damage on the non-crit. And then he's got the combat blade, and then he has Tempest Fury, which when he is in the storm, all profiles of its plasma gun have the punishing weapon rule on top of everything else, and when you supercharge it, you don't get the negative effect of hot.
So what hot is, or what punishing is if you have any critical successes, you can turn a fail into a normal success.
Yeah.
So basically, if you get the 6 damage, you can change it to 11 damage.
Yeah. And then you don't have to roll against hot. Just a no-brainer, honestly.
Yeah.
Lethal 5 up.
The only downside to that is that you kind of want your enemies to be in the storm, so you having this guy sit back and take pot shots. Then again, it is a 12-inch bubble.
It is 12 inches, so yeah. I mean, that, I don't know, I guess we'll get into that kind of in the overview of them versus range and melee in this, but I think it's easy enough to set up.
Yeah. The Wolf Scout Frost Eye has an Instigator Bolt Carbine, which has 2 profiles, heavy and mobile. Heavy hits on 2s, 3 to 4 damage. It's heavy dash only, so you can dash and shoot. Has piercing crits 1 and silent, meaning you can shoot from concealment. And the mobile version basically loses heavy dash only and loses piercing. No, it just loses heavy dash only and hits on 3s instead of 2s. It still has piercing crits 1, still has silent.
Yep.
And it still has a combat blade. Storm Veiled Execution. Whenever this operative is within your storm, it can perform the guard action regardless of the kill zone. So that's the one that lets you shoot somebody when it comes into your line of sight. Normally, it's only in close quarters. He can do it everywhere as long as he's within your storm.
Yeah.
And it can perform the guard action while it has a conceal order, but if it does, it cannot perform more than 1 shoot action for the rest of the turning point, i.e. it cannot shoot both during the interruption and during counterattack act. Oh no. So yeah, it basically gives this guy Overwatch.
Yeah.
Which is insanely good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's as good as the Death Watch one, just because you kind of, again, have to position your storm. You're going to want to be kind of further up the field with your other guys, but having that for free all the time in any kill zone is pretty good in itself.
Yeah. He also has the Hunter Senses usable ability. Select one of the following rules for all profiles of the Bolt Carbine to have until its next activation. So you can give it Severe or Saturate, and whenever this operative is shooting with that weapon, enemy operatives cannot be obscured. So Severe is, remember, you can retain a... if you get any crits, you can turn a hit into a crit, and Saturate is ignore a cover, basically. So, basically really good.
Yeah. He's your sniper.
Yep.
And then the next and last Space Marine is the Wolf Scout Rune Priest Skjald.
I mean, it's Skald is the real thing.
Yeah.
They added a J.
Yeah.
So it's Skjald.
Skjald.
Then again, there's no reason to assume that it uses normal pronunciation, so we should just call him the Skjald.
Or the Scald if it's a jalapeno skilled.
Paint him like a pepper.
Yeah.
So your Rune Priest Skjald.
Yeah, your Rune Priest, your Magic Man, your Storm guy. He is equipped with a bolt pistol. Only range 8 on this one. His bolt pistol's normal, unfortunately. But then he has 2 psychic moves that he can do. We've got Jaws of the World Wolf, which is 5 attacks hitting on 3s, 3 and 5 damage with Psychic, Blast 2 inches, and Severe. And then we've got Thunderclap, which is also 5 attacks, but hitting on 2s, only 2 and 2 damage for this one. Psychic, range 6, Saturate, Seek Light, Stun, and Torrent 2. So this is kind of like you're trying to clear out a small horde with low damage and put a bunch of debuffs on guys. Not bad.
Not bad.
And then his melee weapon is his staff, which is 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, 4 and 6. His staff is a psychic. When you whack somebody, it's still psychic damage, apparently, and it has shock. He's got Cast the Runes, which is actually kind of one of the cooler moves I've seen in any kill team. He throws the bones, and he reads the bones, basically. You roll 3d6 and put them to the side. For anything 1 through 4, like, say you roll a 1. You get to do a command point reroll on the first turn for free. If you roll a 2, command point reroll on the second turn for free, and so on and so forth, all the way up to round 4. But if you roll a 5 and a 6, there's no round in 5 and 6. So the 5 and the 6, you just get a command point.
Yeah.
So that's like really fun. It's kind of in the like Sisters of Battle, like Miracle dice, or in Big 40K, the Aldaris, whatever their dice were called. Fate dice.
And it does call out if you roll 2 of the same dice, so like you roll 2 2s, you can roll the use the command reroll stratagem for free twice during the second turning point.
Yeah.
So it does stack.
So it's either CP gaining or CP like free stuff kind of thing. So
and for that reason, I think it's completely auto take.
Oh yeah,
because he's also pretty good at range. He's got a long range attack. He's good in melee. Plus, it's not that's. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, and then he's also an auto take for his next ability, which is Call the Storm, which that strategic gambit at the beginning of the firefight where you move your storm around. He can do that in the firefight phase for one of his action points. So basically, all the fighting goes somewhere that you didn't think it would. Boom, he just moves it over there. The turn doesn't kind of quite go the way you wanted it to. It's a reaction. Not bad at all. 100% take, especially with how much this team interacts with your storm. It's very important to have mobility on that storm. Or if you don't want to move it and the phase is going the exact way you want, you can also alternatively, instead of resolving the above effect, select one friendly Wolf Scout operative until the start of this operative's next activation, until it is incapacitated, or until it performs this action again, whichever comes first. Whenever that friendly operative is within your storm and more than 3 inches from the active operative, it is obscured.
So you can basically give someone obscurity even if they're standing out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Out in the middle of the storm.
Yep. You can't do that while you're within control range. Woo.
Yeah.
And then last, your actual leader, the Fenrisian Wolf. He's got only 2 APL, but he does have 8-inch move. He only has a 5-up save and 9 wounds.
Yeah.
So basically he's a guardsman with 8 move.
Basically.
He's got Fangs with 5 attacks, still hits on 3s, 4 to 5 damage, rending. He's got Instinctive Predator, which basically means you can only charge, dash, fall back, fight, and reposition. It can't use any weapons that aren't the Daily card. You can perform, but it can always charge while it has Conceal, even when it's not in the storm.
Yep.
Which doesn't seem fair to me.
He's a commando, actually.
Yeah. And then once per battle, Strategic Gambit. If this operative's APL status 2 or more, this operative can perform a free charge, fall back, or reposition action. If it does, until the end of its next activation, subtract 1 from its APL stat, and it cannot perform any of the aforementioned actions. So basically you can charge for free to fight something.
Yeah, it's I'll pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today, but with a free charge action, so you can, because he only has 2 APL,
Right.
so you get that free charge off. You get your 2 attacks in because he can attack or he can fight twice in a round, but it makes him kind of not good the next turn.
Right.
So you want to make sure you really can kind of guarantee that.
And
kill.
then it can't charge, fall back, or reposition.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Basically, this is so you can charge and then fight twice.
Yeah, charge, fight twice, and then on your next turn, if he's not dead, fight again, hopefully, or just, I don't know what you would do, but basically, it's kind of important, again, that you make sure that you're going to get that target dead somehow, because he is not a... I don't remember the actual term for it, but he counts towards enemy kill ops.
Yeah.
They count towards anything.
Yeah,
that
he's
counts.
not a drone or
he's not like a insignificant.
Yeah,
like a bomb squig or something like that. Like, so you don't want him to die, and he has a 5-up save and only, what was it, 9 wounds?
9 wounds.
So you kind of want to keep him a bit safe, and it's kind of hard because he's also just a melee character.
Right.
So it's a little hard, especially since you have to take him.
Yeah. All right, strategy ploys. So the things that make this tick. You got 4 strategy ploys like everyone else.
Yep.
Number 1 is Cloaked by the Storm. Whenever an operative, by the way, strategy ploys, remember you use these at the start of a phase during the strategy phase where you go back and forth. So whenever an operative is shooting a friendly Wolf Scout operative with this within your storm, you can reroll one of your defense dice. When you have 3-up defense dice, it's pretty good. Only works against shooting, but pretty good.
Yeah.
Tempestuous Wrath. Whenever a friendly operative is fighting or retaliating, if it's within your storm or was within your storm at the start of the activation, so you can charge out of it, its melee weapons have balanced, which is a free reroll.
Yep.
Storm's Bite. Whenever an enemy operative is within your storm, subtract 1 from the attack stat of melee to a minimum of 3. So just completely neutral, very much hurt anybody who's trying to melee attack you.
Yeah, that one's kind of huge, especially because this is a melee-focused team, very obviously. So making their melee worse while your melee is really good, huge.
And then lastly, Savage Fighters. Whenever a friendly Wolf Scout operative finishes fighting or retaliating, if it wasn't incapacitated, you can inflict D3 plus 1 damage on the enemy operative in that sequence. So just basically, that just adds an average of 3 damage to all your attacks always.
Yep. And it doesn't have to be in the storm. It's the only strategy ploy that's not in the storm, and then that's just kind of like you got him down to a couple wounds left. Well, yeah.
It's basically adds 3 damage to all instances of melee. If they don't kill you, they take 3 damage, between 2 to 4 damage.
Yeah, and that's also retaliate. So if somebody charges into you, you still get to do that.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, they're firefight ploys. We've got Acute Senses. Use this firefight ploy when a friendly Wolf Scout operative performs the shoot action, and if you're selecting a valid target until the end of that action, that friendly operative's ranged weapons have range 6-inch, and Seek Light weapon rules and enemy operatives cannot be obscured.
So it's basically, it lowers your range to 6 inches.
Yeah.
But gives you Seek Light, so ignore light cover, and they ignores obscure.
Yeah, considering most of your range weapons are already 8 inches anyway, because they're mostly plasma pistols, like taking 2 inches off of that and then just adding another keyword and ignoring obscured.
It's only going to be useful against a few things, but it's a firefight ploy, so you don't have to choose to take it, so that's not so bad.
It's very situational, as many firefight ploys are, but still, like, you got somebody that's like heavily concealed. Like it's going to play against a lot of teams that have auto obscuring nowadays, which is actually a couple of them.
Night Lords and Tau both have it. So.
And Mandrakes.
So
not bad at all. And then we've got Counterattack, which is going to go with that last strategy ploy that we talked about. Use this firefight ploy at the end of an enemy operative's activation or after an enemy operative performs the fight action. One friendly Wolf Scout operative can immediately perform a free fight action, but you cannot select any other enemy operative to fight against during that action. So, an enemy charges you, fights you, doesn't kill you, you do D3 plus 1 damage with your strategy ploy, and then you just get to fight him again if you somehow didn't kill him after all of that.
It through your retaliation and the D3 plus 1 damage, and then you have this as well.
Yeah. All of that stacking together.
These guys are better at counterattacking than the Tau that are supposed to be all about the counterattack.
Yeah. And then this next one is Touched by Lokyar. Use this fire ploy after rolling your attack dice for friendly Wolf Scout operative, excluding the wolf. If it's fighting more than 5 inches from other friendly operatives, you can reroll any of your attack dice.
Rewards loneliness, yay!
Yeah, so this is going to be for your gunner and for your sniper and stuff like that, who might not be in your storm participating or like just kind of on the other end of it. Just a little help, and then like it'll be crucial towards the end of the game. If you've lost a few Space Wolves, you're kind of going to be a little scattered throughout the kill zone, so it'll help.
Yep. Yeah, and more than 5 inches from other. Also, reroll any of your attack dice is huge.
Yeah, not bad. So it makes those long range options that we were talking about a little more worth it. And then the last one, they have Transhuman. They're Space Marines. They have Transhuman.
Except for the wolf.
Except for the wolf, yeah. But for those who don't know what it means, in the roll defense die step, you can retain one of your normal successes as a critical success instead.
All right, and last but not least for the wrap-up, equipment. Frost weapons. Friendly Wolf Scouts operatives combat blades have lethal 5-up. And one pack leader power weapon has lethal 4-up. Incredibly good.
Yep.
You're probably going to take this. Because you're going to want to get melee, and lethal 5 makes everything hit just that little bit harder. And then, of course, it is especially good on the power weapon.
Yeah, this is like Jaegers. I can't remember if it's Jaegers or Salvagers. They have plasma knives.
Yeah.
That I believe all have lethal 5-up. And that's a pretty good equipment for them. But this is just on their combat blades that they already have, that have more attacks, hit better, and yeah. And then on your leader with his power weapon on a 4-up, that is insane.
Yep.
Not bad.
Runic Charms. Once per turning point, when an operative is shooting a friendly Wolf Scout operative, except your wolf, at the start of the roll defense dice step, you can use this rule. If you do, worsen the piercing weapon rule by 1, if any. Then note that piercing 1 is therefore ignored. So if they have piercing, you can make it 1 worse. We see this a lot. You take this if you're going up against something with a lot of piercing.
Yep.
So that's kind of like counter Vespids, for example, which have piercing and like all their stuff.
Yeah.
Wolf Teeth Necklaces. Once per turning point, when a friendly Wolf Scout, except your wolf, is shooting, fighting, or retaliating, if you roll 2 or more fails, you can discard one of them to retain another as a normal success instead. Automatic take.
Yep.
And then last, Talismanic Trophies. Whenever a friendly Wolf Scout operative, excluding the wolf, so basically the wolf doesn't get to take equipment, unsurprisingly.
Basically.
Is fighting or retaliating, in the resolve attack dice step, you can subtract 1 from the damage inflicted on it from 1 success. That one is okay. It's certainly not the most powerful damage reduction thing we've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, it might come into play, so you get off more of those D3+1 automatic damage after fights, but like that one's not necessarily an auto take. The other 3, I think you're gonna take them more often than not. This one,
yeah,
maybe.
And that's it for Space Wolves. So at a glance, these guys seem very, very powerful.
Yes.
It is a 6 operative team. Like, yeah, the wolf's weaker, but it's still better than most other little operatives. The big thing about these guys is that they will be very weak to anything that can remove concealment, because they don't have anything against that. They don't have a lot of innate defenses outside of being Space Marines, but they are the squishiest of the Space Marines, being only 13 to 14 wounds.
Yeah.
And they really rely on the fact that they can charge from concealment. Without that, they will get gunned down by any good things pretty well. But and the ability to give obscuring in the storm is absolutely huge.
Yeah. I'm gonna compare them to the other Phobos team. The other Phobos team is a really good team. The only problem is like I wouldn't say it's like necessarily a high skill floor with them. It's mostly just like if you do make a mistake, 13 wounds is not that bad to chip through, and once you lose one guy, you are going to feel it a lot. Yeah,
and I do think that these guys are not as overpowered as they seem at first blush.
Yeah.
They will absolutely mulch things they get into melee with.
Yeah.
Their combat blades, however, are a little weak versus other elites. So ironically, these guys are probably, they're chaff murderers.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is kind of what Reavers always have been, right? Vanguard always has been. They're not going to be that great into other elite melee, where their stuff will help them. But other elite melee that has good tricks is actually probably going to get the drop on them because the other elite melee will do more damage.
Yeah.
But these skilled guys still do a lot of damage. 5 attacks with 4s and 5s is a lot of damage.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're still even going to be good against elites.
I don't think they'll be bad against elites.
Yeah, just because of that extra damage they can put on all of their fighting.
Yep.
And then having lethal 5-up on basically everybody. They're still going to be scary, but it's just going to be one of those things you have to probably play. You're going to have to play differently for the first 2 turning points and get a couple picks here and there.
Yeah.
And then after that, then you start trying to score the rest of the game. But it's definitely going to change the way people play the game. I see these people, or I see these teams, or this team kind of being a very popular in the upcoming tournaments and stuff.
Yeah. The big thing about these guys is they can't shoot from concealment. Your instigator can, but that's and they are short range.
Yeah.
So their 3 APL doesn't help them as much as it does other Marines.
True.
Because they don't have the range.
Mm-hmm.
If they get within 8 inches where they can do shooting and then charging and fighting, that they're gonna be really good.
Yeah.
But if you can shoot a couple down before they get to you, you'll be okay. But you really do need somebody who can pick someone out and go, that person's obscured.
Yeah.
Or that person's no longer concealed, or something like that. Height advantages. Now, in the Tomb world, oh my gosh, I don't even know what you do against these guys.
That's a good question.
Because they seem really overpowered there. But we'll see. Often things can be more powerful at first blush or less powerful at first blush than they've seen.
Yeah.
So we'll reserve judgment until I get a few games with them in both versus shooting and versus range teams.
Yeah.
Well, let us know below what you think of everyone's favorite Space Wolves. Are you picking this faction up? Are you going to kind of let it slide? Or did you not get one of the 3 boxes that your store was allocated, and therefore you're going to have to wait for the next one anyway?
If you do, just kit bash, and please don't buy from scalpers.
Yes! Speaking of, we have a video on that coming up fairly soon-ish if you want to learn how to kit bash your own.
Yeah.
And we will see you there.